What's the worst piece of financial advice somebody has given you? Once you cut up the credit card, you don't have to pay it. My cousin is not doing so hot. I'm pretty sure there are warrants out for his arrest in several states. I work for a bank. The amount of times I get customers tell me I just got a phone call saying I owe but I cancelled my card. I tell them we never received a notice that they cancelled it. And they say but I cut it up. Dude. If cutting bills up would solve anything, life would be great. So when I was 24, I was financially struggling. I had a job that worked me a lot of hours, but only paid me 10 an hour. My parents talked me into buying a brand new 2004 four-door Honda Civic. The pre-interest price tag on it was about $25,000. A few weeks after getting it, my hours got regulated and it took one entire paycheck to make the monthly note on it. I could not afford the insurance on it. I very quickly realized my parents were bad at money. My father would tell me to max my credit card on a new car, and if they asked for payments just say FM. What are they going to do? My father is several levels of debt hell deep that he's trying to get out of now. But he's at least trying. What are they going to do? Send me to jail? One of my uncles once told me that I never really had to pay my phone bill. He suggested that I simply jump to another carrier and let the first company cut you off. His life has turned out exactly as you'd imagine. What happened? Don't worry about a career. Armageddon will come before you finish high school. My parents. Jehovah's Witnesses. When I got to university and opened a student current account, I received an interest-free overdraft of about $1,200. I wasn't entirely sure of what that meant. My brother informed me, so that's like your new zero, and encouraged me to use it to buy a new gaming PC. For the next few years I really wish I hadn't taken that advice. He's never been too amazing with his money, so I should have seen that one coming. Spend whatever is in your bank account the day before payday. You obviously don't need it. My aunt took me to a car dealership when I was looking to buy my own first car. I was looking at the clunkers I could afford, but she said I should be looking at the new cars. She said, the total price doesn't matter because you make monthly payments. I suddenly understood too well why she had always been so financially unstable. Don't make more money. You'll go up a tax bracket and end up paying more taxes, so you'll end up making less overall. This isn't how taxes work, people. If you go one into the next tax bracket, only that one is taxed higher. You can't make less money by making more money. Join my MLM and make lots money. No. Anytime I hear this crap from a friend, it's the last time I ever speak to them. Get a bigger mortgage. You can deduct more from your taxes. Yeah, dumbass. And I'll be spending double that amount in interest, so why should I? I got $90 and my 11-year-old son told me I should buy $90 worth of kazoos. No real plan past that. Probably among the better pieces of advice on this thread. Guy I haven't seen in 3 years or so wanted to talk me into starting a business with him, because he just got into college for a bachelor's degree in business. Yeah, sure. Let me get my checkbook out in this badly illuminated garage while we're both drunk. Guy also got into MLM and weird self-optimization preachers. Don't go to community college. You'll never get a job. Instead apply at X and X colleges. My grandmother, aunt, uncle, and cousin all told me this. And I really considered their advice because my parents really didn't give a speep what I did. Since I didn't get any scholarships from high school, I decided at least if I went to CC and didn't get a job, I wouldn't have student debt and I could just do something else. I went to CC for 2 years totally free on FAFSA grants. It was $800 a semester LOL, and did so well I transferred to a university with an almost full ride. I am now a semester away from graduation with a job lined up and all of $4,000 of student debt, which is likely to be forgiven anyway. Incite me to go to a real expensive restaurant where you can spend easily $250 without drinks at a time. I only had $700 in bank account and had not paid for my car, groceries and stuff. Because come on, we only live once. How about we only live once on your dime then? Since you feel so passionately about it? Because I'd like my one-time living to be long and secure. Oh, this happened to me. I was super broke and my friends and I all went to this really nice restaurant after an event. I thought I would just order something small because I only had $70 in my bank account. To my horror, we started sharing plates. People were just ordering and passing everything around and I was practically in tears trying to figure out what my portion would be when my friend grabbed the bill before any of us could even see it and paid for the whole thing. This was a one-off when I was super broke and literally couldn't afford it. But there was another time when we all agreed to split the bill, but I was the only one who threw down a card before we all went out to smoke. I thought they had put theirs in, and when I came back the waitress had run my card for the total amount. Same friend takes my card out of the book, flags down the waitress and brings me a refund receipt. He paid for it all that time too. He pays for it a lot. Sometimes there are really speedy people who hang around him. We're all hopeful he gets it soon. Literally all of us would pay for our own stuff. I've lived on my own since I was 17. I bought a car and worked my ass off to pay it off. It needed new tires, so I called my mom to ask her how to go about it. I literally didn't know tires had sizes, for Pete's sake. She told me to just go trade it in for a new car. And I've peeping listened to her. I traded a paid off 5-year-old car because it needed new tires. You guys. Take out a 401k loan to build a pool. It will raise the value of your house. Had a professor in this kind of bootleg college. He clearly took the job as a favor. He was some Wall Street type. He said he doesn't get why students who are young and have no assets don't just borrow a steep ton of money to pay for college, then declare bankruptcy, since they have no assets anyway. Aside from wrecking your credit, student loans aren't dischargeable by bankruptcy. Not me. But my dad's friend makes a decent more money than him. He owns boats, takes luxurious trips, buys top-of-the-line clothes and goes to the best restaurant where he orders the most expensive wine he can get. He always tells my dad to live more in the moment, telling him to invest in himself and enjoy his life. My dad is happily planning his retirement with my mom. This guy doesn't have a dime saved. He will work to the day he dies. A local businessman died unexpectedly in his 50s a few years ago. He had very nice cars, a very nice home, traveled regularly and had bought a boat costing in excess of $1 million shortly before his death. He was in debt up to his ass. His wife was blissfully unaware of the financial situation. Everything she tried to sell was encumbered by more debt than it was worth. The boat cost her $200,000 to get rid of. She was essentially 55 years old with no money, no home and no marketable skills. He had made millions in his life, but spent millions more. Don't pay off your entire credit card balance when the bill comes. Pay it slowly so that it shows your ability to pay debt over time. This will help your credit score. An uncle told me I should rather spend my money and enjoy life because you only live once, rather than save your money to build up a retirement fund. I am now in my 50s and see zero Rona unemployment has devastated the little bit of savings I had. Should never have listened to Uncle Jarvis. All my homies hate Uncle Jarvis. My dad in 2008, don't invest that 1,000 into Apple. My dad in 2012, Tesla is a pipe dream. Stock won't be worth the paper is printed on. What's the next thing he doesn't like? Just wondering. Let's go to the casino and double your paycheck. About 5 years ago, I had a friend who was trying to convince me to study through a private college because they gave her a free iPad. She never finished the course, but kept the iPad. You only got to keep it once you pay your fees and graduate. Mind you, The price of the course included the iPad, so it wasn't free. So last year, 4 years later, I get a call from the college asking for her contact info. She put me down as a reference and they were chasing her down because she still owed her fees and wasn't entitled to keep the iPad. My ex, in his mid-20s and lived at home with no expenses, went out of the country for 2 weeks with a budget of $2,700. He was real proud of his breakdown. 1,000 credit available on credit card A. 1,000 credit available on credit card B. 300 in available overdraft. 100 in checking. 300 in savings. I tried to explain that this is not a great way to budget for a trip. And his response was, credit cards are meant to be used. As long as you pay the minimum payment, you're good. What do you know about credit cards? You never use it? Start using yours more before you talk to me about money. Not the worst, but a common misconception I hear is parents telling their kids to use their credit cards and keep a balance to get better credit. Absolutely false. Don't waste all your Christmas money on Bitcoin. Mom. 2015. MLMs that require one to buy their product up front or purchase a starter kit. And then, if one tells their recruiter they have no money and can't afford to spend up front, just put it on a credit card. You'll be able to pay it back quickly. My dad talked me out of buying my first home when I was about 22. He said it was too big a financial commitment for someone my age. That damn place doubled in value in 2 years. Guess when I ended up buying? 2 years later at double the price. Growling. Get married. You'll save money on your taxes. Housing prices always go up. The literal words were invest in dirt. They aren't making any more of it. I did not take this advice since it was 2008. That person lost $80K and now owns some worthless undeveloped timeshare property. Don't worry about how much it costs. God will provide. Real estate is a stable investment. Homes never lose value. Every asshole in 2006. My wife and I bought a townhouse in 2007 with less than 20% down and PMI. The real estate correction happened the following year. When we sold it 10 years later, we got $20K less for it than we paid. But I had advanced payments, so we retained some positive equity. Could be worse. My cousin already owned a house. He refinanced several times because the rates kept dropping and extracted a significant amount of equity each time. Then the correction happened. His house was deep underwater. He'd already spent the money. And he got divorced.